Alright, okay, so let's have a look at another one. This one's completing the square part 2. Don't want you, thank you. Okay, fantastic handwriting, Miss Ange, good job. Alright, so this one's a little bit harder than the previous example, but you'll see that it's the same sort of process that we follow. So it's one of the questions from the textbook. It starts with x squared plus 10 equals 8x. And we've been asked to solve it for x. Alright, now obviously if you have your GDC we can do this pretty easily, but without it we need to complete the square. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to get all of the x's onto the left hand side. So I want to subtract 8x over to this side. And at the same time, in the same step, I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides and get that onto the other side. Okay, so we're already at that first stage. Alright, this is where I want to be. I've got an x squared, I've got an x, and then I've got the other constant on the right hand side. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is that little trick where I add half of this number and then I square it. Now, it's important to think about this negative. So what I like to do is I put half of that number is -4, put it in a bracket, and then square it. Okay, now if I've added this to this side, I need to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I need to have that -4 all squared on this side as well. Let me just tidy that up, that's a plus. Okay, so now I'm at this stage here. I could just follow that rule that says this is my number, okay, because I've completed the square. Now I've got a perfect sort of setup here where I can just write it as a perfect square. So this number, remember, comes in here. This number is -4. That's why I like to keep the negative in the bracket, because then I remember that it's going to be -4. Okay, and then this right hand side I can start to evaluate that. -4 squared is 16, so it's plus 16. Okay, let me just write it out. Oops, sorry, that's a 4 squared. Okay, -10 plus 16 gives me 6. Okay, so now I can start to solve it for x. I need to take the square root of both sides. So I could take it out of that. Now remember, when I take the square root of this positive number, I could end up with a positive or a negative value. So my next step I'm going to be x minus 4 equals plus or minus root 6. Okay, bring the 4 over to the other side. Plus or minus root 6. That's a 6. Hope you can see that. That's a 6. And plus 4. Is that okay? So I've got, that's my answer. X is equal to plus or minus root 6. That is a 6. Okay? Plus 4. Now if you wanted to, I could go back and just, if you're not sure here at this stage, okay, I can just show you that's going to equal the same as the line before it. Okay, remember if I've got x minus 4 all squared, okay, that is the same as x minus 4 times x minus 4. Alright, so we end up with x squared minus 4x minus 4x, and then this one plus 16. Okay, so that's x squared minus 8x plus 16. Okay, over here we've got it written as -4 all squared, but you can see that it's the same. Okay, so that's another step that we've gone to into completing the square. So our answer would be x is equal to plus or minus root 6 plus 4. That's our exact answer to this original equation. Okay, that's our solution for x.